Good evening. It is now 7 p.m. I will call the Tuesday, September 17th Board of Selectmen meeting to order. All three selectmen are present, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Board of Selectmen meeting minutes from September 3rd, 2024.
Second.
Okay, discussion on these minutes.
I have two
Yep,
things.
and you probably have one of the ones I have.
Was on the number 9.
Yep.
There was yay 2, nay 1.
Yep, so on that one, Dottie, on agenda item, or the minutes, the item number of the minutes was 9, and there were 2 votes yes, which was Suzanne and I, and Ken did vote no. So it was not unanimous. And your second one, Ken?
The other
Sorry,
one
I
had to
forgot.
do with when we were talking about the track. And that had to do with number 11.
Yeah,
I mean, at the end, we had talked about going to the Board of Finance and having that discussion. But part of that was questions were raised on proper application of the bond and grant for the project as approved by the budget. Just to clarify that aspect,
okay.
because we were having that conversation. Whether or not we could apply it, the grant or going over what was approved. And we're kind of in limbo on that.
So how did you want Dottie to make that correction specifically? I'm just trying to see.
She can write it this way if she wants. Question raised on proper application of bond and grant for project as approved by budget.
Okay. I didn't understand the discussion that way, entirely. I know there was a lot of questions, but.
Yeah, because we had discussed.
Because technically the minutes are supposed to just record the
Yeah,
motions
but-
and the votes.
Yeah.
Everything else is left for interpretation, but
that's.
I'm fine with.
Yeah.
Dottie making that change. Do you have that, Dottie? Any other discussion on the minutes?
Nope.
Okay, and Dottie did a thumbs up.
Perfect.
All in favor of approving the minutes with the adjustments noted by Ken, say aye.
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 Aye. All right, correspondence, we did receive correspondence from Danielson USDA Service Center from Danielson that this Saturday between the hours of 9 and 3 p.m. at the Brooklyn Fairgrounds in Brooklyn, they are hosting Celebrating Agriculture event, and you can, we're encouraging everybody to attend. It's the 20th annual event, and yeah, we've been invited as the Board of Selectmen. Additionally, I have 2 other pieces of correspondence that I wanted to share tonight. Both came from Troop D, and we received it after the publication of the agenda. The first was the calls for service for the month of July. So they're a little bit late getting this out to us. This came to us on Friday afternoon. This correspondence is to keep you apprised of the monthly police services occurring within Thompson. During the month of July 2024, Troop D troopers responded to 157 calls for service in Thompson. Most notable are 10 accidents, 20 investigations, three larcenies, and 124 non-reportable matters. Additionally, there was the following motor vehicle enforcement in July: 1 DUI, 8 traffic citations, and 7 written warnings. Then they also sent out on September 16th, on Monday, the August 2024 calls for service, which were 172. 8 were accidents, 16 were investigations, 3 were larcenies, 145 non-reportable matters, 20 citations, and 8 written warnings. And I'll have this if either you or Ken or Suzanne want to look at that. Okay. So Any other correspondence to bring before the board today?
Nope.
Okay, me neither. All right, open the floor to selectmen comments.
I don't have anything.
The only thing that maybe you'll touch on it is the status of the bridge. You know, on Route 12.
I don't have an update. They're supposed to be done on Monday. I was planning on
It ain't
getting in
happening.
touch with them. Well, I have not heard otherwise from them. So I was on the site just 2 weeks ago and they seem to be progressing pretty well, but I will reach out to them in the next couple days and then alert DATCO and the school.
Yeah.
Should there be further
I mean,
delays.
I went by it on. Is it Sunday? Might have been Sunday or Saturday night. I can't remember. And they still hadn't even started the, I mean, the wires there for the abutments, you know, the
Right.
side rails, but they were a long way from opening that.
Yeah. I will
So-
reach out to them and I will report back to you and we'll put notification.
Yeah, just so
on the
that way
website.
people are gonna be curious.
On another note, obviously, we all know that there was a deadly fire, and I just wanted to take the time to really thank the firefighters. To thank our fire marshal who was there all night, and I'm sure some of the firefighters were as well. That's a hard job. And I'm really grateful that you guys do what you do. Yeah, so that was a
And,
tough
and,
one.
yeah, and I have to echo that, and I know that you guys were there all night, and, you probably all had to go to work the next day, you know, the firemen, so, and it is a tough job, and you do it, and you don't even ask for thanks, you don't, you know, we're very fortunate to have the departments that we have and the volunteers that we have.
Yeah, just to echo on to that, anytime that type of stuff happens, the situation after to cope with the situation is not easy because it leaves a definite lingering effect, no matter how tough you are.
Yep.
So-
For sure.
So thank you.
Thank you. And we also have an active situation going on in Brandy Hill. I do not have details, but it was important for me to share with the public that I was in touch with Troop D. Kind of thanks to our Deputy Emergency Management Director, John Zamaki. It's an active investigation. The resources of the state police are on the scene at Brandy Hill. If anybody has heard anything about it, they're using all their resources and they're just requesting that the public stay clear of the area right now. And hopefully we'll get further details as they start wrapping up the investigation. And that's all I have. So. There's no other selectmen comments. We'll open up the floor to citizen comments and we will start in the live audience. Citizen comments at this time. Any citizen comments? Just state your name and address for the record and you're welcome to speak. Okay, virtual audience, the virtual audience. Any citizen comments at this time? Just state your name and address. Ms. Valerie Clark.
Valerie Clark, Alm Road. I think it's important to note that WINY posted that the active situation that is over on Brandy Hill is stated to be no threat to the public.
Thank you.
It would be nice to hear that confirmed.
That was not confirmed to me. So I was just, it was requested that the public stay clear of the area. That's all I know.
And your information came from Troop D.
Correct. Not that I think there's anything to fear. The
Right.
resources, there's tons of police there right now. But just don't go, I just wouldn't want citizens to go investigating on their own.
No.
So whether it's safe or not, there's plenty of resources there, but just don't go investigating.
Yeah, you
on your
don't-
own. Give them space to let them do their job is really what I'm saying.
Yes, definitely stay away. You don't want to become a casualty of the situation
Correct.
for impeding an investigation.
Correct. So. All right. Citizen comments, last call. All right, with that, we are going to move on to the most important topic of tonight's meeting. Our Thompson Veteran of the Month. This is a program instituted by our Veterans Officer, Rainey Morin. This is our second Veteran of the Month since the program was instituted. And I will read the press release. Leonard Sonny Hamill of Redbridge Road in North Grovenordale has been chosen as the Town of Thompson's second recipient of the newly formed Veteran of the Month program. Sonny, as he is most affectionately known, is the September 2024 awardee. He served in the United States Army from 1966 to 1968 and proudly served his country in the Vietnam War. Sonny was a combat engineer working in the front trenches of the war. He witnessed firsthand the ugly side of the Vietnam War. And Sonny's dedication to his country is still evident today as he marches every year as a member of the firing squad in the annual Thompson Memorial Day Parade. An interesting tidbit is that Sonny still marches in the same uniform that he wore 56 years ago. I'm still impressed by that. It still fits him perfectly. Sonny is married to wife Paulette, and together they have 2 adult daughters, Jessica and Carrie. And Sonny, thank you for your service from a very, very grateful community. And at this time, I just want to pass it over to our Veterans Officer to say a few words, because
Sure, thank you.
Rainey always has something to say.
Never at a loss for words.
No.
Thank you, Amy. What a pleasure this is this evening for us as a community, Thompson as a community, to recognize a true American hero.
Mhm.
Too often in this country for too long, for whatever reason, government has not given their veterans their duty. They've gone unnoticed, and only recently have I seen sort of a resurgence, maybe in the last 2 or 3 years, where veterans are, some new veterans programs going on. Veterans are now all of a sudden becoming recognized as they should have been a long, long time ago. Sonny is a true American hero. He's a true Thompson hero. He goes about doing his business today as he did when he was in the Army in Vietnam, quietly doing what he needed to do. And I suspect that no one in this room or no one in this community really knows the sacrifices and the effort that Sonny put in during his almost 3 years in the United States Army, keeping us safe, protecting us, and keeping future generations safe. So as the new Veteran Service Officer in Thompson, I thought it was time that we start recognizing our own American heroes, our own Thompson heroes in this community. So as Amy said, I instituted this new program as of August 1st. Stan Wisniewski was the first Veteran of the Month for the month of August, and Sonny Hamill is our second Veteran of the Month. It goes without saying that we're proud of you, Sonny. The whole community is proud of you, and more importantly, we want to thank you for your service. Not only those of us here in the community, but I see his family here. I see his wife Paulette, longtime employee here in this building, and daughters Jess and Kerry, and I see a granddaughter Quinn sitting over there, and a son-in-law, and a friend of the family. A friend of the family. So it's wonderful, Sonny, that we're able to get together, say thank you for something that is way, way, way overdue. So I'd say congratulations. More importantly, I'd like to say thank you from a grateful community. Thank you. You guys wanna come up?
Yep. Then we gotta.
Come on up, Sonny.
All right. The town of Thompson honors Veteran of the Month Leonard Sonny Hamill, United States Army, 1966 to 1968. Combat engineer, served in Vietnam, frontline soldier. Thank you for your service from a grateful community.
Thanks.
Thank you. You want a photo?
You should get a photo of his family.
Family, that's.
I think so.
Yeah.
Let's look at the flag too. I'm just gonna move it in.
Work out.
Hope your family.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, that's right, you're gonna do the photo?
Multitasking.
John always does our house
Our
photographer.
resident, yeah.
I'm going to. Everybody good?
Yes.
That's right. Oh, yes, yes, absolutely. So Sonny wants to say a few words, which I should have done already.
That's fine. I'm really honored to be here today. You have to understand, I'm not an eloquent speaker. But I want to thank everybody that made this possible. And for everyone that's here, for my benefit, and I certainly appreciate that. I have to disagree with Rainey. I'm not a hero. I never was, and I won't ever be. I did, to the best of my ability, what the Army asked me to do. And hopefully I fulfilled my commitment to them. I came back to civilian life and went on just like before I left. And my commitment to Memorial Day and Veterans Day is something that I promised myself when I was in Vietnam. And fortunately, I've been able to keep that. And I want to thank you very much. It's very much appreciated.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
I disagree with you. You are. a hero.
You are.
And I don't fit my uniform. Not many
One more
people do.
photo. One more photo.
If you give me.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sonny.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Rainey, thank you for providing this program. I think it's a wonderful way for us to acknowledge our veterans. And it gives you an opportunity to highlight a veteran a month. I love this.
Mhm.
This is
The committee is meeting tomorrow morning to pick the
the next.
October veteran.
Yeah.
You've all seen the sign in the front of the town hall. With Sonny's name, the press release and on the website. Yep. Yeah, that's, those are the thank yous you should have gotten 50 years ago.
Absolutely.
Randy, you're gonna be a veterans officer for a long time because we've got a lot of veterans to cover.
That's right.
There are 441 veterans in Thompson. Living veterans in Thompson right now.
Yeah.
And that's right from the assessors list as of a couple of weeks ago. So far we wanted two.
We've got a long way to go.
Get a feeling. So the way to do it, if anybody's interested, we take nominations.
Yeah.
There's You can download a nominating form off of the town website or the Veterans Office website, or stop in the office and pick up a form. I'll have them available at Community Day in the park here on October 5th. We're gonna have the veterans tent this year. We're gonna have some veterans exposure, so it'll be available there. So if you know of a deserving veteran from Thompson, we'd love to. We're building up a pretty good list right now. I can tell you that there's some very qualified. Everybody is qualified to be the veteran of a certain month, but there are some really good nominations that have been made. So you were right at the top.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. All right, we'll move on to agenda item 8, RFP Main Street exterior painting reissue. If you recall, we had only received the one bid. We couldn't seem to work with them to get the price within our price point, so we went back out to bid. This came from Tara Pengesic, our Director of Planning and Development. Dear Select Board, this correspondence is to formally recommend award of the contract for the exterior painting of 65 Main Street to Flawless Cleaning, Painting and More for a contract price of $24,585. This was the lowest bid received, and we are pleased to be able to award the contract to a local vendor. This project is funded through a grant award from the U.S. Small Business Administration. Following approval to award by the Select Board, I will notify the contractor and forward the formal contract for her signature. So that is the recommendation.
All right, I'll make a motion to award the exterior painting of 65 Main Street as recommended by our Director of Planning and Development.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second discussion on this grant award or RFP award. Okay. All in favor of awarding the contract to Flawless Cleaning, Painting and More as recommended by our Director of Planning and Development, say aye.
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 Aye. All right, that passes. Agenda item 9, Building Committee request for track equipment and bleachers. I put this back on the agenda because after a little bit of conversation with our town's attorney, we initially, because of the legal notice in section 3A where it said that the 1.5 could cover any other related expenses to the project, we thought, and the town attorney thought that, okay, we're good to go. It doesn't even, and at the time they thought it wasn't even going to need to go to the Board of Finance for
Right.
approval. Unfortunately, as Bill Steglitz and I, always just looking to make sure that we're doing everything right. We went to the next paragraph, and paragraph 3B from the legal notice says that to provide that the amount of bonds or notes to be issued shall be reduced by any grants received for the project. The purchase of the equipment is dead in the water at this time, unless the Board of Finance can fathom a way to fund it, or the school can find a way to fund it. But we can't take it from the 1.5 million. So
That's too
glad
bad.
that we did the extra, that there was a lot of discussion about it. Glad
Yeah.
that we questioned ourselves. We were right in questioning ourselves and looking further. And the truth is, when we wrote the legal notice, we put that clause in because that was really important. That if we received grant funding.
Yeah.
And I'm remembering back to
Yeah.
it, if we received
You're
grant
right.
funding, it would reduce the bond.
Exactly.
So at this point, there are no funds. I still would like to at least present to the Board of Finance the situation in Thursday night's meeting, just so that they're aware that right now we have a track that has no equipment to host a meet. It's unfortunate. I think back to when we went out to referendum on the project. I mean, we really didn't think we had a chance. And we were just grateful to get a track, and I'm grateful that we have a track.
Absolutely.
And now, yeah, we're gonna probably have to wait to get equipment,
What was the cost of the equipment again?
130,000. So currently, according to the budget, ordinance, any appropriation or supplemental appropriation to an existing appropriation if in excess of 0.5% of the approved fiscal budget shall be approved by the Board of Finance and town meeting. It falls just under that 0.5%, which means if, I know they're projecting a surplus at the school. It'll be up to the Board of Finance to decide, so it does not have to go to town meeting for the equipment portion,
If the school has a surplus, it's up to the school.
but the school has other needs.
Right,
They're gonna have to decide
Right,
what's most important.
right.
So,
And, you know, I know I mentioned it 2 weeks ago, but are we actively looking for grant
oh,
funding?
yeah.
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 Cause 130 is not a crazy, it's not 1.5 million, it's not a crazy dollar amount.
Yeah. And we'll continue.
No, I mean, bleachers, we can always
Well, there-
bring the
we still
chairs
do
and
have-
stuff,
Bring the
which
soccer
is,
chairs.
yeah, exactly. So that's what's up.
And that's
bleachers
sad,
there.
but,
We
yeah.
still do have bleachers there.
That
They're
were
just-
there.
Right,
oh, okay.
so.
So,
And
yeah.
we
That's
sat
really
on them
sad.
when we did the groundbreaking for the.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I
So,
mean,
Yeah.
it'd be great if our fund balance was healthy,
right,
but
so.
Yeah, it's not. in
It's
a
not right
position To
now,
be able to
no.
fund something like that.
at least we got the track
Right.
Yeah.
and it's done and we can use it and
And we'll plan. in
adapt
the next.
accordingly.
And I felt like we plan in the next year to put something in the budget for the equipment.
We have a really active PTO too, maybe they can.
Now
Now that they've
Well-
completed the playground, they can start on track.
Maybe there is a school, a college or somebody that
That's what I
may
said, if we could get.
make
the-
some donations and
Yeah.
stuff to get this
Start
thing off the
getting the
ground
word
again.
out, getting, you know, like that, this is a need.
It's
Or
just a
want.
reminder that we are still Thompson and sometimes we have to pinch pennies and go without and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
We have a beautiful track.
Yeah. And we will have equipment, just potentially not this year. So, but I still want to, I did ask if it's okay with the board. I mean, I know we'd presented, I just want to present it to the Board of Finance to let them
Absolutely.
know what's going on
Yeah, you
Thursday.
can give them a heads up.
So. All right, so that does that one. The next item, agenda item number 10, is really just something that I wanted to put into the brains of the selectmen. Just for food for thought, and I didn't have Marie send it. There's some additional information. The agenda item it's just a discussion point. Town clerk and tax collector, terms of office, whether they're elected or appointed. And it's just really for discussion. Because it's been brought to my attention by a few people within town hall. Currently, tax collectors within the state of Connecticut, 71 are elected, 98 are appointed. Town clerks within the state of Connecticut. It was 121 municipalities elect their town clerk and 48 appoint a town clerk, and they're for varying terms. So what's being questioned and what's been brought to my attention as something for us to discuss is, do we keep the positions as elected, which I think I would be in favor of, but would it be possible to extend their term to 4 years versus 2 years? We have the opportunity, according to statute, to increase, it can't be no less than 2 years, and it can't be no more than 6 years for a term. So, food for thought, we don't even really have to discuss it until you start digesting it yourself. But have either of you ever thought of this? Ken, when you were in the seat, did anybody ever bring this to your attention? And then, of course, there's the other elephant in the room is, should the selectmen be a 4-year term? Just a thought. I'm just throwing it out there. Because these are questions that have been posed since I've been in office. It's nothing new.
There's been a lot of things that have been proposed.
Right.
If you look at the history of the town clerk and the tax collector,
Okay,
I
hold on
think-
just one second.
Excuse me, we're gonna be leaving because my family is got a ways to go.
Oh, yeah.
And my granddaughter has school and.
Oh, of course, of
No.
course,
You don't
yeah,
have to stay to the end.
no.
thank you, son.
Thanks, Penny.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all for coming too.
Very, very much.
We totally don't expect you to stay for this whole board.
No, 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 no.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Boy, we really know how to clear the room.
You do.
Okay.
Going back, yeah, it's been bantered around. Going back, you're looking at Tim Schwinn that I can remember and Merrill Snee Senior. And from there, I think we've had 1, 2, 3, 3 town clerks and 4, 3 tax collectors and 4 town clerks.
I mean, the truth is, when they get in the seat,
They usually
sit
don't move.
until they're ready to go.
Or people just,
Yeah,
they're very happy. So,
right.
you know, there's been the school of thought and there's something to think about that we just make them as an appointee of the town and there is no election. There's always that as well.
The appointee
See,
for
I'm
the,
not-
the appointee for
As
the
a hire.
tax collector, the one thing that I discovered as I was researching it, the appointee for the tax collector position, no matter what, runs concurrent with us. So if we're 2 years, he or she's 2 years. If we're 4 years, he or she is 4 years. So that one couldn't be extended and appointed, which was interesting. It's in the statute. It's in something I gave you.
Can it be as a straight hire? I mean, I haven't,
Well, that's
so I don't know.
appointed. That's appointed. Let me
See,
just
I would not agree with appointing. I think
I
that,
like the election.
I think having an election means you're guaranteed to have somebody from the town.
Right.
And
Yes.
I think in those positions, I think it's important that you have somebody from town.
Oh, I don't
I do
disagree. I
agree.
don't
And-
agree,
yeah,
disagree with
yeah.
that. I'm just saying that the
But
possibility isn't
you
that.
may feel different. I don't know.
It's
That would be, but, I don't know, 2 or 4 year, because as you said, once you're in that position, typically you
Don't
don't
go anywhere.
go anywhere and you don't really run for office. You know, you're not campaigning, you're quite often cross-endorsed,
Exactly.
almost always.
Hmm.
Or
So-
there's no opponent.
The current law for the tax collector side of things, unless a charter or special act provides otherwise, a town tax collector is elected at municipal elections or appointed by the chief executive authority, which is us. If elected, the tax collector serves for a term of at least 2 years, but not more than 6. If appointed, he serves until the appointing authority's term of office expires, which in the case of the chief executive officers is 2 years or 4 years.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that you wouldn't be able to extend it if the Board of Selectmen wasn't extended to 4 years. So I don't expect a decision.
Oh, no, it's just
Tonight, I
thoughts that are thinking around.
Yeah. and
Whether or
it's
not this
moving
will-
Closer to, obviously, if this was something we wanted to do, and we wanted to send a town meeting, I feel strongly it has to happen before the first of the year, before we get into the
Election
municipal
season, yeah.
elections again.
Oh, most
So,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So. I don't have anything else to share on the topic. I tried to find as much material as I could.
It'll definitely something to read in a
Yeah.
quiet moment.
Yeah, definitely. So. Do you have any other thoughts, Suzanne or Ken?
No, I mean, I've been asked, by different, I've heard different viewpoints on changing it from 2 to 4 years and appointed as opposed to elected. And I think it's worth conversation. I definitely think.
And I've heard the side of just appointing, but I just think I like the tradition of it being elected. I do like both positions being filled by a resident as well.
Me too.
It is just a question of should the term be a little bit longer?
And we've had some good town clerks and we've had some good tax collectors.
It showed by
Had some
7
really-
in the last
Yeah,
60 odd years.
Yeah.
You know, so.
All right. Well, my plan was just to keep it on the agenda until we came to a final decision, either way. And, yeah, we'll revisit it.
Sounds good.
All right, the second, or the last official piece of, business, is agenda item 11. This was something I didn't want to see fall to the wayside, and I did ask the chiefs to attend, they're all here. Discussion about the fire protection district in your packet. So this is, again, we don't have to make decision, but it's just open forum. It's a chance for us to discuss. I gave you both the final draft of the proposed bylaws for you to read, at some point when you get home. But I'm glad the chiefs are here. I want to officially hear from you all. I mean, is this something you still potentially want the Board of Selectmen to pursue to town meeting? Can I open up the floor just to let them speak?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear from each one of the chiefs, how they feel.
Yeah.
How
The
they.
floor is yours.
Yeah, because it says on the agenda, it's discussion,
Just
so
discussion.
Yeah.
there's no motion that needs to be made or anything.
You guys have anything to share?
Well, I'll start.
I mean, it's been a long process.
It's been a long process and, there's been a lot of work done. It's just attending the meetings and then bringing them back to my people. There's still a ton of questions.
Mhm.
It changes the structure of the fire departments. And mainly the structure of funding. And equipment purchase, apparatus purchase. It's a huge undertaking. And once we implement it, we're not going back. So as chief, I have to be 100% vested in this before I can even entertain the thought of bringing it to my people and saying, yes, we should do this. We should change our entire governing bylaw
Mhm.
and then go with this, and this is how it's gonna be, you know, and I just, you know, I have a lot of questions about, you know, well, I'm not sure if everyone is familiar with how Woodstock operates, but, you know, if, like, say the Muddy Brook Fire Department is due for a new piece of apparatus, then funding goes to that, and this is just like, I mean, it's just a very general way of speaking about it. But you know, my thought is, starting off is gonna be, I don't even know how we begin to do this. And, you know, who's to say that, okay, I guess we go by age of trucks or whatever. But, you know, who's to say that, there's $800,000 in the account for a new truck for Thompson Hill. You know, by the time they order a truck, it's, you know, it's $1 million. And that is like, it's here. You know, an engine is basically $1 million. I mean, it was kind of funny when people were buying ladder trucks and people say, oh my gosh, 1.2 million.
Mhm.
You know, those 1.2 million ladder trucks are 2.3, 2.5. So, not that we need a brand new ladder truck, but that's just how it is now. And, so my people are saying, you know, and then I'm finding myself trying to answer questions where I really don't even have the answers to. You know, and the discussions we've had with the town attorney and the other chiefs and, the board of selectmen, they've been really good. But I'm also feeling like, we need another person to look at this and say, you know, an objective opinion about it, or, well, maybe you guys don't really want to do this part, or, you know, this isn't real, this really hasn't worked for Woodstock. And, but it's not a perfect thing that's happening in Woodstock. You know, they're getting
This isn't the Woodstock model, though.
well, I understand that,
Okay.
but I don't know what else we go by. All I know right now is the Woodstock model of how apparatus is, how anything is funded,
Right.
you know, and we're taking bits and pieces of that. But I still have too many, yeah, but what if? What if this? What if that? You know, the control of, and I understand that this is like a separate entity other than the town governing this board. But what I don't want is this board, you know, saying, well, this is what we have, this is what you're gonna get.
Mm.
You know, so like I said, I don't wanna talk it down, I really wanna support this. I just have way too many questions, and I wanna continue with this.
Right.
You know, I don't, you know, we've done a lot of work, Chief Brown has done a ton of work. The bylaws are, you know, I like them. It's just the other groundwork that, you know. I mean, you know how long we've been trying to do something like this, Ken.
Can
And-
can I just share just so that the public and the listening audience, anybody that maybe in the future listens to this? A quick overview of what the bylaw stated is that a board would be formed and it would be elected. Initially at an initial town meeting, where this process and this district was approved. It was a board that was to include 5 individuals. And then within the board and within these bylaws, there are 3 different subcommittees, which would be represented by a member of each one of the 5 departments. And they would serve on the finance committee. So I make sure I get them all right, the capital equipment committee and the capital building committee. And each of those 3 subcommittees would present to the main board, this is our budget, this is what we need as to operate, all 5 of us to operate in the fiscal year financially. That includes all your bills, everything that you typically present to the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance. And then the capital equipment committee would have a 5-year plan to make sure that all the equipment, I'm assuming the SCBA's, turnout gear, et cetera, any other pieces of equipment, whether it's the tool to use to evacuate or open up a vehicle, you know what I'm saying? Any jaws of life, any of those pieces of equipment, so that capital equipment committee would say to the board, this is what we need to operate. And then there's the capital building committee where we're setting our eyes on, oh, this department needs a new roof. This one needs a new furnace. These are our needs for this year, and they all get combined by the board into one budget that gets presented directly to the townspeople for a vote. So you're no longer just hoping for a $70,000 stipend from the town of Thompson. This is, you're going directly to the people and saying, these are our needs. This is what we need in order to operate. But it's up to you because you'll have the full representation. And the person from the board of directors that is the chair of each subcommittee doesn't have a vote. Your 5 department, your representatives from your 5 departments will have say in what, and they'll have to work out together who gets what, when. Does that clarify?
So it
too?
bypasses the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance.
It's
You
a
no longer
separate-
get,
It's a separate
it's
district
a whole
altogether.
separate, yeah.
And you
is
go
how I
directly
understood
to the public for a vote every year.
It's not in the town budget.
It's
Finance to present the budget.
It's a tax district.
it's a 1-line budget that's gonna go to the taxpayers and it's
Yeah.
not gonna get
Mixed.
critiqued by the Board of Finance.
It will be
If the regular
critiqued by
budget
the
goes
public.
down, you're a standalone budget.
Yeah.
You'd be a
So the
standalone,
public will
yeah.
vote on it directly, separately from the town budget. It's a separate vote at a separate meeting, and I believe it was in
Are they
May.
separate tax bills
Yes,
that go
Yes.
out?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
As a retired, as someone who has a little experience in the tax office, would they be a separate tax bill?
That's,
It could be set up a number of different ways,
Right.
but I think the more popular way is that it's a separate tax district that has its own separate employee, a separate tax collector, separate people who get the bills out, collect the bills. It's its own entity.
we can choose to potentially, if the town wanted to, pay a certain amount, sort of like WPCA for the
Exactly.
tax office to handle.
You could do that.
yeah,
Right.
You could do.
It could be.
so they
done
pay it all at the town
Yeah.
level, but those funds go where they need to go.
I think that would be essential to get this off the ground.
Oh, yeah.
To have install a new taxing system on top of it would be
Mhm.
very difficult.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Matt, I didn't hear what you said.
I'm saying to kick this off, I think that would be the best way is to have it from through the town. And then we can wean off of that as it starts
As time
moving.
goes on.
Right.
As needed,
Right.
yeah.
Because my biggest concern about this, and I fully understand what Steve is saying,
Mhm.
but my biggest concern now is that we're looking for more volunteers that aren't part of the fire department that are gonna run this board. And, you know, the treasurer of this department, of this tax district, that's gonna be that's gonna be a 20-hour-a-week job for somebody. It's taking care of a lot of bills, so it's not,
It's not a volunteer.
it's not a volunteer, and, you know, in my proposed budget that we created, it was a stipend position so that they would be paid, so that's fine. But you still need to have somebody step up to do that, you have to have the chairman step up to do that. Because again, it's not anyone in the fire departments that would be on that executive board.
Right.
We would be part of the consultation kind of thing of the board.
So is the executive board elected?
It is elected at the annual May meeting, as that's what the bylaws state. So they are elected positions, but it is critical to find the right individuals to serve on the board with the right mix of understanding of tax districts and just
Understanding,
accounting.
yeah,
And
So, So-
understanding
The needs.
intricacies of OSHA and.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, NFPA, everything behind it that are driving these costs.
Right. but that's where having members on
Resources.
the subcommittees, because they're going to be there to educate and help the board understand what your needs are. So. But it is just at this point discussion, but John Zamaki.
John Zamaki, 310 Aquatic Town Farm Road. I have a question for the chiefs. You forming this tax district, it's a little bit different than like East Putnam or where there's only one fire department involved. Will you guys individually as departments be able to have ownership of the equipment purchased? Or is it gonna be part of the fire tax district property?
Future purchase.
Future fire.
Future purchase will be town property, would be the district.
Town-
Within the district.
Well, the fire
district,
tax
the fire
district.
tax district.
Fire tax
I-
district property, so it
Yeah.
won't be Winnabock's new truck or
Right.
East Thompson's
Right.
new truck.
Well, one of the questions I had was, you know, say that we are in need of a truck and there is only, say, $900,000. What if we put in another $300,000? That's just what it's gonna cost us to use that truck for the life of the vehicle, and then it still goes to the tax district?
It's very complicated.
It was- That's what the question-
You know, Each Putnam is different because it's one department,
Exactly.
one tax district. If you had 5 different tax districts, then whatever you purchase is yours. But this is confusing now with one tax district and 5 departments.
but that's even
Still
similar
only
with the
does it,
Woodstock
right?
model, if
They
I
each have
remember
their own
correctly.
tax district.
Whatever
They
is
do?
bought
Yeah.
for the 3 departments, if you're done with whatever piece of equipment or whatever, then it's presented to the other 2 departments in case, you know, like, if they need it, and then if not, it's, you know, it's surplused off, whatever,
Provided
and
it
so
was
forth.
purchased by the association.
Correct.
But I've never asked them either.
Yeah.
If they got any like kickback from, not kickback, but I mean, opposition of, say we spec'd out a set of turnout gear. You know, and if that's what we agree on, is that something that we're gonna have to agree on the 5 departments? So if we need turnout gear, this is the spec that we get? Or say one department spec'd out a cheaper gear, because there is cheap gear out there,
I bet.
you know? Huh?
Not anymore.
Less.
Yeah.
Quality you're
So,
talking.
well, okay, there's more inexpensive gear, and there is a huge difference in quality. You know, so, again, my concern is there gonna be, like, can we put in a request for 10 sets at, I don't know, $8,000-9,000 a set, when there is turnout gear out there that is, you can get for $5,000 or $6,000 a set? It's one of the questions I have, it's one of the questions that my people come to me and I say, well, no, because we have a standard. But does that hold water when I'm going to present my proposal for new turnout gear?
Well, that would be part of the capital equipment committee to convince the group it's compromise.
Right.
It's.
It does, it
It's.
ain't gonna be the low one, it may not be the high, and maybe in the middle that meets everybody needs.
Or maybe your representative says, convinces that we need the $8,000 gear. I mean.
Or maybe another representative says, no, we need
And
the
maybe
$5,000
because you're
gear.
buying
So
power-
that is a challenging question.
Yeah. Or maybe because your buying power is slightly higher, maybe you get a better deal. No.
You know, specking
Because
on a,
it's not that
specking
much
on a
higher.
piece of fire apparatus with
Give me the
a
thought.
commercial chassis is hugely different from a custom chassis. You know? A
Yeah.
lot of the commercial chassis, yeah, you can get four-door trucks, but the custom cabs are designed differently. But it's a huge cost increase.
Right.
But if you have one and you use it, then going to this and trying to convince them, yeah, we just want to continue to use the same type of fire apparatus that we have in the past. And it's, you know, well, you really can't convince us because it's okay for these guys, you know what I mean? It's all these little pieces that I'm like,
But-
ugh.
So in the end, this is my feeling. This is unexplored territory.
Yes.
We don't know exactly what's gonna happen. So you and your departments have to decide. Are we okay just sticking with the way things are? And that's fine. Or do we want to take the chance and, you know, explore like Lewis and Clark and figure out, is this going to be a better path? If you don't think it's a better path, then don't take it.
I think you have fire departments, and I don't even just laugh, but I think you have 5 fire departments that said we cannot sustain this way. We cannot stay in business this way. And I think that there has been a chief or two who have said, yeah, in 5 years, we're in trouble.
I don't think it's 5 years.
Oh, it's coming.
Okay, that was 3 years ago.
We're at the point now that we can't continue down this road, with the current funding.
It's not
We have
adequate.
several departments that are 4 or 5 years out from buying a brand new truck on a must. Without that, they're done. So we're looking at $7-8 million in vehicles. And if we keep going the way we are now, we can't do it.
Right.
Because we can't keep buying used pieces of equipment and we're having all kinds of problems, nickel and diming us, and we're done. We need to move forward with newer equipment in order to continue forward. We're just at the point that we can't keep buying used stuff. The cost of used stuff out there is coming up to where new stuff was 10 years ago.
And you don't have the longevity of it, according to NFPA.
Right, you're
Not
buying
the
a
20 year.
20-year-old piece now, running it out the door as your first line piece and it's breaking. So unless we start moving towards some new equipment, we're just not gonna be able to function. The safety factor is gone.
And besides all the new OSHA standards.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus, the problem is we have to have, your first piece out can't be 20 years old.
Right.
So.
And I think we're all at that.
We're all getting to the point that our first piece out is almost 20 years old.
So you know what the 5 fire departments have been doing, you know, financially, you're struggling, you need new equipment. And you know what you're getting from the town and passing budgets is not easy in town, so it might not get any better. So when you look at this model that's presented to you, what are the advantages, I think, and what are the disadvantages is what we need to do, is we need to look at, is there more buying power? Is there more opportunity to take out loans or fund grant funding, things like that? What does this bring to the table that you're not already getting? I guess that's what I'm saying.
I would say stability.
Does it offer stability? It gives you a pipeline right to the taxpayer too?
Right.
I mean, there may be compromise. You may find that there's equipment that isn't what your normal standard is, but it's still, quality, and you're gonna get usage and lifetime, but what are your alternatives?
I definitely think your sell to the taxpayer is better than going through the regular budget, because they know whatever it is, 5 million, to cover all 5 fire departments, that's where the money's going.
I think too, when you're thrown in with the rest of the budget, you fall prey to every other cut.
Yeah.
If the Public Works Department is seeing $1 million, $2 million, $3 million
It's
dollar
right
cut,
across the board.
you're gonna get cut. Board of Ed is gonna get cut. Everybody gets cut. If you're going directly to the public, you have a better chance. My opinion.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, I mean, it's true.
It is.
We see it every year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We put in absolute needs and we get cut every single time. We get level funded,
Because,
we get cut. And
because
then they just wanna pass the budget.
all the departments
What?
feel all the departments in town, the town departments feel they're asking for their needs too.
Oh, okay,
So,
all right.
in that
But-
respect, so you're not alone.
No, but if
So what I don't wanna
doesn't
start,
know.
what I don't wanna start doing is getting into, okay, my job is a little different than the dog officer. Or the person who is in charge of the library. You know, you can put a budget for the library, gets cut, okay, they don't change the air conditioning unit. Or they don't fix sidewalks or something like that. We haven't really been able to say, you know, we're really putting exactly what we need here. And getting exactly what we've asked for.
Mhm.
We've never really gotten that, you know, and I don't know.
Nothing in the last 3-4 years is going down in price. Everything is skyrocketing. I purchased gear 4 or 5 years ago. It was $1,700. That same exact gear today is $4,000
Right.
for one
Yeah.
set.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I just bought two, they're 55.
You know.
And it's like,
and I see what you're saying, because when you don't get funded, lives, houses, safety is at risk. If the library doesn't get funded,
So I don't know how many times we've gone to Board of Finance meetings, budget workshops, and they fund half a dump truck. I've seen that, oh my God, before you were selected. Okay, for this year, we're gonna fund half a dump truck,
just the front half.
you know? I don't know which one I want first, you know?
Which bumper now in the dump list.
But,
You're right.
you know, it's just like, things like that are like, it just can't happen.
No, just with the cost of inflation on fire apparatus and
Yeah.
equipment. You need to buy at that time
Matt.
because it goes up so
he got-
quickly.
He got a quote on was basically a show truck, right? It was a
Demo truck.
a demo truck, right?
Already built. And that was last year, that was $750,000.
Mhm.
Hey, I mean,
Bare bones truck off the floor.
yeah, I mean, in the past, the ambulance services bought demonstrator ambulances because they save money on them.
Yeah, it was a lot cheaper.
They were cheaper than buying a new one, so.
And to come, we had about, I believe it was in end of June, we had a fire on Sunset Hill. And pump started acting up in our 2009, that's our next piece that has to be replaced before we hit 20. We finally brought it into service and the pump is gone. A $20,000 repair.
And that's a
We get
15-year-old truck.
Yeah, right, we get $78,000 a year to get hit with a $20,000 repair bill. We just can't do it.
Right.
That's like the one thing
And
that
that's a truck
everybody
taken
talks
care of.
about, you know, oh geez, what if we have to repair a pump? What if we have to repair a pump? Everybody has said that, you know, and it's $20,000.
Hey, I remember when we've taken pumps apart in the station and rebuilt them, put them back together. And it's not easy to do,
And they're more complicated now.
yes.
With the electronics and everything, you don't do it in-house anymore.
No, I'm saying, but I'm going here just to save a buck.
So how do we move forward? If this is
If-
something
if
that,
This was something that the chiefs and their departments decided they wanted to move forward, it just takes a petition. A petition to hold a town meeting, and we need 15 signatures of town qualified voters. Period. So. And then.
to have vote on it at a town meeting?
Yeah,
Do-
and then
do-
it's brought to us
Yeah.
and we would set a date for the town
Yes.
meeting. After that, the process is town meeting approves. At that town meeting, a temporary board is chosen. That temporary board would be 5 people who would serve in the capacity and would start to build the budget. In April, there would be an annual, I'm pretty sure it was April, there's an annual meeting. At that time, the budget is approved and moved forward to the May meeting where a permanent board would be voted in place and a budget would be passed or voted on by the public.
And if we change the ordinance, that we're talking about for budgets, it could come sooner.
Yes, well, no, theirs is different because it's under the bylaws. Their meeting is the first Thursday of the month of May is their annual meeting. Where
Oh,
the
that's a
budget
separate
is-
meeting.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
correct.
it's separate.
Right, that's a separate meeting.
That was set up to coincide with the town tax.
Correct.
And
And so-
that's flexible, if the town moved,
Right.
that could move. it.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I showed.
And their fiscal year would be July 1 to June 30 as well.
Matt, we know how the Woodstock runs, we know how Killingly runs, they're all separate districts. Do we know any of the, I don't know if you've heard researching this, if, whether it's New Haven, Fairfield, one of those, cities or towns that have multiple departments that are be set up like this?
In all of my.
Is anybody out there?
I've never seen anyone do what we're trying to do, and I think that's what the problem is. Everybody's a one for one, you have tax district, fire department.
Didn't Ellington just do this recently, not too long ago, or, what's the other town, Coventry or something?
Oh,
I'll look into those, but I'm pretty sure there were two towns that had multiple departments, they more like integrated, but they went into.
Merged, they're all.
Yeah,
But did they have they have a tax district?
Yes, we're
You're
we're
kind
the
of-
last ones basically that don't have tax districts in the
Right.
state of Connecticut. Nobody does it that way, it's tax district. driven.
You're merging under an umbrella, but keeping your identity.
Financially, we're for supplying the financial needs of the departments is under one umbrella.
Right. Correct.
Yeah, because it'd be really tough to do 5 separate budgets to the
I don't
public.
think
And try to
5
get that many
districts.
people to volunteer for each one of them.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
You're
it'd just
not-
be,
You
yeah.
can't get volunteers as.
Right.
That's
Oh.
and
Would
it-
I don't even mind that there isn't anybody else that hasn't done it, because we will blaze the
Yeah.
trail.
It should-
That's what I'm
but
thinking.
It's more difficult, I mean, trying to set this up with, you can't ask us to do anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I leave at 4:30 in the morning, I get home at 4:30 at night. We go to calls, sometimes we're out all night, Ron was the other day, and we just can't try to come up with something that any further than what we've already come up with. We don't know the intricacies of all this. kind of stuff.
I think the fact that you'll need a treasurer that's more of a full-time
Right.
person. Maybe that'll help take some of the load off. Of your
Ken.
shoulders as far as bill paying, et cetera.
It's, there's, after this is formed, then there has to be policies written, how decisions are made, that type of thing, so there's still a lot.
But
Well,
OSHA's
you
gonna
can't do
be,
anything
OSHA's
without-
gonna be requiring more from you.
Oh, right,
I went to that meeting
Yes.
at Mohegan Sun, and was it Mohegan? Foxwoods. And I was a little bit like,
you need a full-time person just to take care of that.
oh, they pile it on, that doesn't stop.
Oh, it's gonna get rough.
yeah,
And that might be something that, and it's not just us,
Right.
it's you as a town,
mhm,
there may have to be a position in town that's your town safety person that maybe oversees also the fire departments or something like that, because that's gonna be a big one also.
because it's hard to ask volunteers to do all that. And go to work, and go to calls.
So even what we're talking about, the cost of inflation, if you, with OSHA, they're basically mandating that every firefighter has 2 sets of gear.
Wow,
You have a clean set and you have the set that.
wow.
So it's,
Would
It's,
it be beneficial to have a town, an informational meeting with the town, with, like all your departments and then any town members to really publicize it? And to go through this?
I think just doing it at a town meeting,
I-
I think even if it came down to having an OSHA representative. Talk about the challenges that you're gonna be facing, have the town attorney to answer any
But like
questions.
Steve said that his department has a lot of questions. I'm sure every one of your members have questions. And getting it directly from.
But I think we can do it at a town meeting. Set,
But they've
Oh,
got to
instead of
iron out the
having a
questions
separate
that you have.
informational Session.
a lot of those won't be answered until the board is put in place. That's what it-
No,
that's
but I'm
what-
saying you may have the same questions where you're narrowing it down, how to make this transition. And so you can get the answers that you're looking at, how it would normally work. I mean, you've got Killingly, and even though it's one department, they know, you know, how they deal with apparatus or gear or, you know, what their mindset is.
But even them, they run a little different too.
Yeah, of course they do, but it does give you a little bit of feedback.
Yeah.
But we've got to go forward because, you know, with some form of this one way or the other, because the days of fundraising, the days volunteering, it's just, and what's required of training and everything is just phenomenal.
I think you guys,
We're lucky, we're still afloat right now.
and I think,
Training.
Yeah.
We're at what, 1,400 now for a firewall class?
Yeah, but I mean, but it's putting all the people through and
Yeah.
then the research, you know, just whether you're EMT, MRT, you know, whatever it may be, there's just so much time. And the active training, you ain't got time to fundraise or do anything. It's just not there. Everybody's tapped.
I think the hardest thing, the one thing I said from the beginning. We can't wait for. This path that's perfectly lined with flowers and we have to, at one point, we've just gotta step in and do it. And we've gotta believe that we have the backing of the public, we have the backing of this board. You have the backing of the town. And we're gonna get this done, and we can do this together. And it'll make a huge difference for all of you. I just really believe it, I
But-
always believed it.
but what I would like to see is for each department to believe in it as well.
Yeah.
Cause like, it's a big buy-in from you
It
guys.
is.
So making it work is only gonna work if you believe it's the way to go. And I can see Steve's going, I don't know about this.
No, so I have my own people. You bring it back to them, people don't agree with it, they kind of like distance themselves away from what they were bought into before. You know, I'm not doing this, you know, I don't like the way this is, if we can't buy our own stuff, if we, you know, but I don't know. I don't know, like I said, there are just so many. I don't like the feeling, I mean, yeah, you know, I know everything's not flowers and
Unicorns and
daisies, yeah,
lollipops.
but what I don't want is, holy shit, what do we do?
Yeah.
You know?
And I only
I
meant
agree.
perfection, we can't wait for it to be
No,
a
right,
perfect plan.
right.
Because we're all gonna have to figure things out and navigate as we go along, is what,
And
I
I'm
was
sure-
trying to come up with the right word.
I'm sure there'll be growing pains.
We definitely
Yeah. Oh,
need,
yeah.
And adjustments.
we definitely need to avert, you know, one of the departments going under,
Yeah,
you know.
Because you're all five very valuable
The way
to
the
this
town,
town.
the way the town was built, I mean, if you could start from scratch, you triangulate, I mean, we talked about this before. And you do your stuff, but that's not how we're built. This is what the infrastructure and everything we got, and it works. We just gotta keep it afloat. We don't want somebody to go under. And
I'd like to see the departments thrive,
Yeah, me too.
have what they need, and then attract more recruits.
me too.
But it's a tough situation. We have to have, we rely on you. We have to have, but we can't get the town to pass a budget. So
well,
taking it out of the general budget is gonna make it, I think, more palatable for the residents to know that that's where their money is going. And they back you, they believe in you, they know that you guys are doing your best. I think, that's my opinion.
yeah, and the taxpayer, you know, when the budget fails, when it does, and they make the cuts and adjustments. We've all seen it for years, so much from DPW, so much from here, so much from here, so much from here. Everybody gets hit, and we know emergency services shouldn't be touched. We've expressed not to touch it. Board of Finance votes, makes their cuts, and then it goes back out to the people, and the people just look at the bottom line and it's yay or nay.
And
That's
some
why
people-
going with the tax district is,
Well, it's, I completely agree, nobody actually looks. and
they
sees
don't,
what's in
they
it.
just look to see how it is, but, you know.
Right.
Unless they're using the service and they go,
But I mean, like you said, though, I mean, you just said that, you know. DPW's cut, their cut, the fire departments should not be cut.
Yeah.
the budget presentation that goes, the final budget presentation comes from you guys. So, yeah, you guys can sit there and say it, but the proof is right there, where we all asked for 83,000. We all got 78, you know? We didn't do that. We didn't say, there was times before we said, you know what? We know that it's gonna be tough. We'll level fund. Convinced that we should go level fund, which was a huge mistake. But yeah. Yeah, we're needed.
I can say this board has increased the fire departments more than any other
Absolutely.
board. And I know even on the Board of Finance, I've fought for the fire departments. I thoroughly believe we know you're underfunded. That's why I think Amy has gone and Matt, you know, we've all worked to try to put something together to help fund you, to figure out a way to help you just have what you need.
And just to put things in perspective, with 5 fire departments at say $80,000 and $400,000, that is probably doesn't even touch what one single fire department in the area. Dayville is over $1.2 million per year.
Right.
Rogers, the area where you blink and miss it is at like 380 or something
Right,
like that.
so just putting that in perspective of we're running 5 fire departments, what people are running 1 in.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna happen.
And that's why you're not getting it out.
Mhm.
That's why you're not replacing apparatus.
There's no way.
Yeah.
You can't.
There's no way.
So,
Even if
And
we
with the
give,
cost
even if
of
we give them
inflation?
the adequate funding, it's gonna take years to catch.
It'll take years.
We pick and choose. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this public. We pick and choose what NFPA mandates.
mhm.
You know, how long did we go back and forth with tires?
Mhm.
You know, who can afford to replace tires? I don't remember the exact number of years.
7 years.
Was it 7 years? I mean,
Whether it sits or it goes out every day, 7 years.
right. I mean, I have a 2008 engine that we just replaced tires last year. And it was only because the chunk was taken out of the sidewalk. But, you know, it's the same rules for Putnam, Norwich, you know, Hartford. It's the same exact rules.
FDNY.
Yes.
Exact rule.
Yeah.
Well, next step, if you so choose, is a petition. I would hope, we have a few other items that we're trying to get onto a town meeting, kind of pushing for the next couple months maybe, but
I would
So-
like to, before we even get to petition, I would like to see whether you guys or the town can at least start exposing, I guess, this to people that
Okay.
might be on the board,
okay,
so that we can have like a pool of people that could be on that board.
Yep.
And understand the plight of the, just to go in there and get a petition, and then it's like, now what? And it's
so a petition, so a potential board being
at
presented,
least a pool, you know, at least
Yes.
a group of people that are interested in making this happen.
and I have started
And,
making some inquiries, so.
Um. You know, we originally looked at this by asking around, do you know anybody that would want to do this?
Yeah.
It's like, nobody in their right mind
Right.
wants to do this.
Okay.
You know, because it's gonna be a commitment, and it's, well, I don't want to compare it to Little League, but it's not gonna be like volunteering at Little
Right,
League.
right.
You know, it's a different deal.
Okay.
So,
God forbid you're asking these people to become certified firefighters.
Oh, we're not doing that. They can't be a firefighter.
But what I'm
Whoever
saying
says
is,
it works.
it's tough enough to ask.
Yeah, that's the hard part in becoming a certified
That's
fire one.
harder. So-
You're just asking them to volunteer on the
Maybe
board.
easier than what you think.
Once a week.
So. But I'll work on that and try to get that to you guys within the next week.
But
A pool.
a petition just takes it to a town meeting.
Yes.
For a discussion, a yay or nay. It could be a nay.
It could be.
I mean, you guys could all
we
come
want
in and
to get more
decide.
information so that, you know, not just saying nay, because,
We'll do it.
As
I'll
soon
do a
as we do this,
story.
you know, 3/4 of the towns will say, great, new tax. Well, it's
Oh,
not,
yeah.
we're taking it out of the general, but we're taking.
Well, that's
it
part
out
of
general
the
budget.
information.
Right, so we have to make sure that that part of it is.
You're right. And there's gonna be a group out there that will fight like heck against it, I guarantee.
But if you guys aren't sold on it, it ain't gonna go anywhere.
Right.
Right.
So
You guys are the first.
you've got to unify as the departments that this is the way to
Should we
go.
This is what you want.
Put this on the agenda for the next
I'll keep
meeting?
it on the agenda for the next meeting. In the meantime, I'll work on an informational post about what was discussed tonight. To get that out there, I'll work on, the pool that I already started working on. And
Would you
Yeah,
be
we'll keep
willing
it-
to come back again so we could have another discussion as we have information?
And we've been doing this since, well, kind of wholeheartedly since what, 2018?
It's been a few years
When
now.
we started, when we did our first presentation back then, I mean.
Yeah.
So we've been,
Yeah,
we've been trying, so.
No, but you got the bylaws and the structure done, so.
you know, and as far as questions and answers of what's going on in Woodstock. The original people are still on the board. They keep saying, listen, we'll talk to anybody, we'll talk to them anytime. We'll tell you how it works for us, we'll tell you how we do this. And, you know, we tried, but, it would be nice if, and maybe it's not even like a formal meeting with you guys, maybe it's the 5 departments. And they, you know, we can just, off the top of our heads, find out, you know, how did you guys work this? How does this work for you guys, you know, how did you what did you guys start off with, you know, just all these little questions that I can't answer with my people. So, I don't know. Like I said, there's just,
Have the members seen this set of bylaws yet?
yeah.
Okay,
They've all looked at it, they've all got it.
But
I'm
the
sure they're all-
bylaws is different from the everyday working of the committee.
the policy,
Yeah,
policy.
The
procedure.
bylaw.
how does this work? Well,
Corporation.
I don't know, we don't know yet. Well, how can we say, yeah, we wanna do this if we don't even know how this is gonna work, you know?
I mean, the one thing that we do know is that we're not gonna go into next budget season if we don't change things and miraculously get $250,000 each.
Mm,
That's not gonna happen.
Right,
no, $10,000 ain't gonna,
Right. And, even if we get whatever percent increase next year on what we're doing now, that's not gonna pay for that pump that I have to write a check for.
Right.
next week.
right,
Right,
You know,
it's,
so
yeah.
So,
Steve, did you
Like I
have
said,
something?
Yeah, Steve Wright, Woolen Drive, Winterwater. You gotta remember, any plan you put together has to be fluid. The bylaws can be, but the plan, how to buy stuff, and that can be fluid, the things change.
Hmm, true. Right, any other thoughts? I've got my marching orders.
I think this was a.
yeah,
really
we've got some good
conversation.
feedback back and
I think
forth.
this was, yeah,
And you guys are all on board with this, right?
yeah.
I think it's the only way you're gonna survive.
I mean, we're gonna hear some negative because you're gonna hear people say, oh, it's another tax, and they're gonna,
It's good to hear that.
they wanna do, we're gonna hear it.
Yeah, it's getting pulled from the budget though, so that's the other thing.
But yeah, hopefully, once
we'll give you
people
a full
understand,
standard application you can hand out for those people and stuff. You can find it.
that's right, that's right. I like that. But John's got a question.
Oh, John,
John Zamaki, Quatictown Farm Road. I think one thing that the public has to remember is that the fire service and the protection you get affects your insurance bills.
mhm,
And if you lose a fire department, the rates for your insurance are gonna skyrocket for your homes too, so. Pay now or pay later, but the bottom line is you gotta protect your fire service.
yeah. Make sure you're at the town meeting when we have it. We need people just like you.
And did you add his name to the pool?
That's what it's found, I would be saying is that regularly, at least a couple times a month, when people are purchasing homes in our town, especially the larger homes that they're purchasing.
Yeah.
The insurance company calls me,
Okay,
find out every, closest water supply, what
Mm.
what the time is out the door, all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
So it's not just a general statement he's making.
yeah,
It's happening. Right, so.
And-
that's good to
and-
know.
With all the building going on in Thompson, I mean, we really need to invest in our fire service because there's a lot more houses, there's a lot more apartment buildings going up, and it's
Yeah.
just,
You know,
the building is crazy.
I mean, you guys talk about just the fire side. The EMS side is pricing and stuff is ridiculous. Just to get that out the door.
That's a whole nother animal.
Yeah.
All right, move on. Okay. Other business. I do have some other business. I guess I need to add it to the agenda, or it's really, it's not gonna be a vote.
No,
or
what is it?
anything. Maybe it will be a vote. I'll make a motion that we add to the agenda a discussion in regard to the building official position.
Okay, I'll second that.
Okay, and any discussion on adding this to the agenda? All in favor of adding it to the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So I didn't think about it on Friday, but on Friday, the position for building official closed. It had been out for 2 weeks. It's been on the state website. It's been on the town website. It was in the shopper's guide for 2 weeks. We received no interest in the position. Currently, John Nolly is serving as the interim building official. So I would like to know if this board would like to interview John alone. He's the only one. That's
He's
interesting.
interested.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean,
It's an appointed position in the end. I just didn't know what the board would like to do. We did appoint him as assistant building official. He's qualified, he's got all the certifications. I had hoped to have a couple of people to interview, so we could do formal interviews, but there was nobody. So much to my dismay. But he does wish to apply for the position. So,
I mean, we had no applicants and he's qualified. Interview or offer?
I think we should have a discussion with him. It won't hurt. It won't
I
hurt.
agree.
okay.
He's currently the interim, so he's doing the job.
He's doing the job. Tuesday. Potentially,
That's the 24th.
Yes. Because I'd have to put out an agenda. for it.
Well, if I'm not available, if I'm not, you could always do
Well, we can do
Zoom.
it later. We could do it at 4 or 5. Or we can do it during the day.
can't do during the day.
Are you not available, Ken?
Not sure what my work schedule is.
Or I would say Monday, potentially Monday. I just
Well,
have to-
Monday would have to be in the evening or whatever.
Yeah, we just can't go, oh no, you know what, we could because the planning and zoning is at the library, so they're not setting up in here. So we could do 5.
Tuesday might work.
Tuesday works for you?
I
But
think
Tuesday
Tuesday-
doesn't work for you, Ken.
I can make it work.
Okay.
An evening or early evening.
5 or 6?
Yeah.
Probably closer towards 6 would be better.
We'll make
Yeah.
it for 6 then,
Okay.
all right? Okay.
You'll
So I'll
send
get
out
that
an
agenda.
invite?
Yep,
Okay.
all right, we don't need to vote on that.
Nope.
All right, and I will open the floor to citizen comments at this, unless there's any other business to bring
I
before.
have nothing.
Okay. I'll open the floor to citizen comments and we will begin in the virtual audience. Citizen comments. Virtual audience, just unmute, state your name and address. The live audience, any citizen comments in the live audience? Okay. We will move on. Tax refunds.
Yeah, I saw the red folder, so we know we got some.
We have quite a few. I'm gonna pass this to you guys. We have 30 or so. I'll make a motion that we refund the following taxpayers. Toyota Lease Trust, $602.94, $49.76, $201.66. ACAR Leasing LTD, $198.12. Volkswagen Credit Leasing LTD, $310.78. Nissan Infinity LT LLC, $124.30. Camilla S. Barrett, $103.78. Jeffrey A. Holmes, $27.27. Ona M. Van Dyke, $47.26. Judith C. Rondo, $5.71. CCAP Auto Leasing LTD, $53.58. Sean S. Tucker, $24.09. Bruce G. Gray, $5.14. Robin G. Paquette, $25.05, $40.39, $35 even. Robert W. Miller, $63.67. Megan R. Flynn, $62.07. Michael Bergeron, $74.77. Francis N. Langlois, $62.35. William L. Steglitz, $87.14. John A. Zery, $25.81. Rosemary Olsta, $187.49. Ann M. Batchelor, $183.58. Kimberly A. Boladovic, $29.85. Lisa J. Raymond, $8.97. Heidi W. Johnson, $8.01. Hyundai Leasing Titling Trust, $173.21 and $77.08. And Richard D. Anise Jr., $15.85 for a total of $2,914.68 in tax refunds. Make that motion.
Second. Aye.
Take your pick.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, make a motion that we adjourn at 8:26 PM.
Second.
All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.